Today's episode of the Polymer Week Podcast features American artist Christopher Notbusch, known for his fantastical sculptures made from polymer clay. Christopher's journey began when he was just 10 years old. His grandmother gave him a book on modeling with clay, and that gift sparked a lifelong passion. Today, he is one of the most recognized sculptors in the field, sharing his techniques and insights through live streams with thousands of fans watching around the world. Hello, Christopher.
Hello.
So nice to finally meet you in person. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. You had a pretty long trip, right? From States to Germany.
Yep.
Coming here.
Did the flight. I only had like a day between the flight and then 6 hours in the train. So I'm still jet lagged. So
We are very grateful that you are here. And I love that kind of accident where I just ask you, is there any chance you would be in Germany, which is next to the Czech Republic? And you were like, maybe. Looks like that.
yeah.
So-
yeah, like I said, the trip was already planned before you reached out to me. And yeah, it happened to be in town. What are the chances?
Well, it's awesome. So I guess, have you ever been to a polymer clay conference or any kind of event like that?
Nope. This is my
It's the first
first
time.
live event. I'm usually pretty much a hermit, so it's hard to get me to
Out of
come out of my shell. So
Yeah. Well, I guess people tomorrow, when we actually start, will be amazed to see you and to have a chance to speak with you, because I guess you are a huge inspiration to so many creators who prefer to do sculpting with polymer clay, which in some way is a bit rare in terms of the polymer clay jewelry community, but there are so many ladies and people tending to go that direction because it's new and it's unique.
yeah.
And in your case, has it always been sculpture, or was there something else that really you focused on early on?
No, it was always sculpture. Yep, from the very beginning. So I started sculpting when I was like 10, and I had a book that showed how to make character faces. And that's the beginning, was just making faces, and eventually that turned into full characters. And
So since 10, you've been sculpting?
well, I started when I was 10, but it was, off and on through my youth. And then it wasn't until I was an adult that I started really pursuing it and didn't stop. So there's like phases in where it's phasing in and out throughout my youth, and then, but it was always trying to make statues or full characters. I was always really inspired by, I don't know if you knew these, but there was these really detailed action figures back in the day made by Todd McFarlane. They make Spawn. They're called Spawn action figures, but I used to have those, and I used to just look at the detail. I still have some of them, and I think it was a little bit of that, kind of subconsciously wanting to make stuff that's kind of like that. So, yeah.
The detail is a huge thing in your artwork.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you have to look at something, you see the full picture, but once you really zoom in, those tiny, incredible details are showing. So how much time are you spending on those?
So like a normal, let's say a typical full-size character with a scenic base and lights and all that fun stuff and paint, it's like 250 plus hours. So 250, 280, something like that.
Oh, right. And how many hours a day you sculpt?
I do 2 streams a day usually. So it's like 4 or 5 hours in the morning and then 4 or 5 hours in the evening. And then I have the middle of my days for other things, instead of the end of the day, So.
Well, although it takes so much time, it seems like you're coming with new sculptures very, very often. Like,
Oh, yes. Well, not all of them are the big, everything wrapped into one package kind of thing. So, and some of them go faster than others because, like, certain things take longer to do than other things. Like something that's organic and like a monster that's deformed is very easy to do. Even though it looks more detailed, it's easier to do because clay likes to be natural formations. But if I have like a robot or like something with armor or a super symmetrical, pretty female figure, it takes a lot longer. So a lot more back and forth where you don't feel like you're really making progress. So, yeah.
You said you're streaming, and for those who don't really know what the stream is, how would you describe it simply?
Well, it's like it's a first-person perspective, so you see exactly what I'm doing. The camera's on my chest. You see my hands working and doing things, and you can interact with me live in the chat. So it's a live show or like live TV, but you can type like a comment in the chat, and I can read it and respond. So it's more, it's like a YouTube video, but with interaction. So.
And how many people are usually watching that?
Well, live viewers, usually about a normal day stream, it's like 3,000 unique visitors. But then like the numbers are like 150 to 200 like at one time. So but they're always constantly going and coming, throughout the whole broadcast. So, and then
incredible.
I just recently started doing multi-streaming where I'm not only going live on Twitch, but I'm live simultaneously on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and this other platform called Kick, which isn't very known, and I want to add TikTok to that too. So it's like casting a wider net, so.
And the numbers are then...
Well, yeah, some platforms do better than others, and it just takes, I know from experience, it takes a long time to grow a community of anything, anywhere. So the idea is just to kind of be active in these other places. That there'll be people there that'll never go to Twitch because they just don't know what it is, or they think it's just like gaming only, which most people do. So that's why YouTube's more universal, but it just takes time to grow a viewership. It's kind of like a snowball effect. It starts off really slow, and then you get to a tipping point where you have a big enough kind of steady audience that you can kind of get more people because of that main group you have. So.
Well, when did you figure out that the streaming could be an option how to show, first of all, what you're doing, but also in the next phase, also make a living based on that?
Well, I heard about Twitch streaming, and I was actually interested in it initially because I wanted to do what it was meant to do, which is you play games and people play games. I was intrigued at that idea, so I saved up money, got a computer. At the time, I was doing sculpture work on like as a side job, so I was working my day job, come home, I do sculpture work. So I got this computer and I'm wanting to do game streams, but I could never do it because I was too tired, but I get done with my work, get done with my sculpting, and I'm like, too tired to do tomorrow, we'll start tomorrow, so it just wasn't happening. So then one day I had that light bulb moment of what if I stream my sculpting time, every day? I wonder if people would like to watch it because I was making mostly game characters. So I was like, it'd be putting the, what people want in front of them kind of thing. So that was my initial idea. So I just started doing it, and it really took off like crazy right away because I was the first person to do non-gaming content on Twitch. So, and, in their terms of service, it said that everything has to be game related. So technically I'm like legally in, so, but yeah, it was a wild, I ended up becoming the very first non-gaming partner on Twitch. So I kind of opened that door, and then now Twitch has got all kinds of stuff, there's all kinds of things. So.
In terms of the business, was it easy in the beginning or was that even an intention?
Well, initially, thankfully, in my life before being a sculptor, I was very unsuccessful. So super easy to just like walk away from that and say, I'll quit my job and I can go get it again.
What was the thing before sculpting?
Just like retail.
Uh-huh.
So I was a department manager at Walmart. I worked at Best Buy selling phones and setting them up and all that. So nothing special. So, but yeah, so when I got partnered on Twitch, that's when I was able to like really make the plunge of, doing it full time. So, yeah. So, cause I tried to do sculpting full time before streaming, but it didn't work out. It just ends were not meeting. It was just, I was a noob. I didn't know how to price my work right. It's all learning. So looking back, I know it's a good thing. You get out there, see what works, see what doesn't work. But when I got partnered on Twitch, that means now I share revenue with Twitch from the channel. So, and people can subscribe and, it just brings in so much more. And then with the sculpture sales and all that stuff, plus that, it was able to work. So
comparing that to being, let's say, YouTuber, is it better to be a streamer on Twitch in terms of the business or not at all?
There's like pros and cons, of course, because the thing about Twitch, when you're not live, you don't exist. You know what I'm saying? When you make a YouTube video, you put more work up front, but it could pay off long term, like continuously, you know, so.
And once you do the stream, you can watch it later, right? How
You can watch it later, but it's not really, there's no real like financial incentive there like it is with YouTube.
Is it important for you to have the highest number present?
It's all about, so I don't even run ads on my channel, so I don't make a lot from that. There's like pre-rolls and stuff, but the majority of the money I get from Twitch is actually not from Twitch, it's from people subscribing. So I get subscribers. There's a big culture, there's a bigger culture on Twitch for like viewers supporting people, where it's YouTube is a little bit less. So like, you know, they're making like tons of money off of ads, but that, you know, people don't really know how it works, you know. So
0% from
yeah, right. A fraction of a penny for every 2,000 views or something. Yeah, so it's like But
and you said that right away it kind of was pretty fast to
so the reason it was so fast right away because League of Legends was the biggest game at the time, and I was making League of Legends characters. And so what I would do is they didn't have an art category, so I would stream under the game that I was making the character from. So there's a lot more people browsing on Twitch the old traditional way, where it's like most viewers to least viewers. And so you click on, I want to watch League of Legends. And then you scroll through and you just see the little icon of what's going on in the title. And then you pick, and it's most to least. So what ended up happening is you're scrolling through and you're seeing the same screen because they're all playing the same game. And then you see this guy with clay, you know, and you're like, oh, well, what's that? You know, so I think it just initially took off because people would click on it because it looked different. And then I bumped my channel up higher in the list. So it happened, it was like a snowball. And it just, like I was getting like thousands of viewers per day, you know, in the earlier days. Yeah. So
how long has it been for you to be a streamer?
I think it's like 12, 13 years now.
Really?
So yeah, it's over a decade. That was 2011. So someone can math it for me there. But yeah.
When it comes
13 years, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to your skills, when you compare the very first stream you did with the latest one, like, do you see there must be a huge gap, right?
It's huge, yeah. I mean, you can go back like a year and see not just the stream like layout and way everything looks, but also the work. So it's like it's all skills growing at the same time. So, I mean, the biggest game changer was when I found my wife. She's the one who really cleaned everything up because you know she's a motion design and a film major. So she knows all the stuff that I don't know with like cameras and editing and software.
So she's the IT in the...
She's the IT, yeah. So she, a lot of people know me because of Instagram Reels, and she's the one who does all of that. So I'm just streaming on Twitch, and she's like off to the side with the big camera, and she's recording clips and editing them and posting them and doing all that stuff, so...
And how is it for you to be a working team when being together?
It's good, really good. When we went from being a working team to now being parents together, you're working together, you know, it's all the same. So this helps. We spend 24/7 together, and we don't get sick of each other. So, you know, so when we're apart for like 5 minutes, we're longing for each other. So almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, you're here just for 2 days, and then
I know. Yeah, it feels like eternity.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But I mean, that's how it started. She found me on Twitch, and she was just a viewer. Mm-hmm. And she was freelancer in Germany, and she started to, she had like a period where she didn't have work coming in. So she was just going around, she would go around to streams and like help them like make their channel look nicer and stuff like that. So she found my stream and saw the photos of my work and was like, oh man, I got to help this guy. He needs help bad. So she started messaging me to help with the photos, told me things I could do and stuff like that, which I ended up doing, but then the photos needed to be edited and I didn't know how to do that. So she started helping me just for free. And then
she flew to the US?
Well, no. So I would take the photos, I would send them to her. She would edit them, send them back to me, and then I would post them. And then it slowly went to like, okay, how about I just let you log into my socials and then you can post them. And then we started playing video games together and watching movies and hanging out. And then, you know.
Like a long distance.
Yeah, it was long distance for like probably like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then we were like, okay, we're really in knee deep here. We got to figure out something. And that's when we were like, okay, well, let's get married. You know, so.
Why States? Because you could easily end up in Germany.
Well, it's cheaper in the United States. So.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's cheaper. There's less rules and regulations to do things. It was just easier. It was an easier, like, we're trying to get our life started. It's going to be easier to do it in America. So, but now she's tasted freedom, so she doesn't want to come back. So I'm just kidding.
Well, if you look back at your decision, because as you said, like you work in retail, then the sculpting passion was there, you decided to stream it. Did you, well, probably you didn't imagine, but just the fact that the streaming would lead you to finding a very nice passion and making it a job of yours, plus finding the love of your life.
Right.
That wasn't an idea, right?
When I started streaming, like I said, it was just, and this is what I tell people that they always ask, like, well, how did you get where you're going? Like, what do you do? And it's like, everyone I've talked to, they kind of figure out a different way to do it. So all I did was just try things and see if they work. And if they work, I do it again, you know, do it again and again and again. And that's all it was. So it was just following this like breadcrumb trail of, let's try this, let's try that, you know, and see where it leads, you know. I think when you have like an idea in your mind, like I want to become a full-time streamer, make a living, find my wife, you know, like you're setting yourself up for disappointment because you can't control these kinds of things. They just happen, you know. So it's best to go into it with like a clean slate. Like, I don't know where this is going, this road here, but let's follow it and see where it goes, you know, so.
And a lot of happened, right, in the past years. Like, it feels like you grew exponentially and you just did those bigger collaborations as well, and suddenly it's clicking on
Yeah,
part.
well, yeah, there's been a lot of things that like really, so of course, like what helped me really grow, getting a partner helps you grow because they point out your flaws, you know, and our strengths and weaknesses balance each other out. So it just makes you grow as a person. And of course, becoming a parent does the same thing. And then certain details, like, for example, cosplay coming into the picture, like really changed the way I would do my work, you know, so before.
What was the clay before you were working with?
I worked with Sculpey. It was Sculpey Original, but it was in the gray color. I don't know if you remember that. You can get it. It was like kind of cheaper. I actually accidentally bought it one time and then liked it, so I kept using it. Before that, I used Sculpey Firm, Super Sculpey Firm. And but then they discontinued selling Sculpey Original in the gray color, like bulk shipments. So at the time, I already had cosplay. I was a beta tester, and I really liked it. But I was like, the Kickstarter hadn't gone off, so I was like, oh, what if it doesn't successfully finish? So I have to hoard this clay and make it last forever, you know? The sample kit I had, I was trying to like make it last forever. So once cosplay, you know, was a huge success when it came out, and once it fully launched, and then Sculpey discontinuing the clay I was using, I was like, I went and talked to Arnold. I'm like, all right, Arnold, I'm about to make cosplay my clay. Let's make something happen. So then I became an ambassador for cosplay, and then started doing projects totally out of cosplay. And it's one of the best switches I've ever made because, you know, I ship my work internationally all over the place, and the way I do details and things, you just can't do it with other clays. They just break, you know, so. Yeah, so.
I guess you must have helped them a lot as well, because you are pretty open, right, about the material you work with. Yeah. So once you get questions on the stream, you make them an advertisement every single time.
Right, it's like a living advertisement.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, I'm not like, I'm telling people exactly the truth of, you know, how to do things. This is what you do. This is how it is, you know. And whether Arnold could have completely ignored me, and I would have still talked positively about the clay and still want to use it, you know. So
that's the best kind of collaborations, when it's based on that you really love it.
I mean, I did before Arnold. I did reach out to Super Sculpey. Silence. So it's a big difference, you know, between they're a little bit more, I think, like corporate entity, and whereas Arnold he's a real guy, you know. So
yeah. And you sense kind of that family atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
Going on
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yeah, I do. So on my lives, I'll have Arnold once a year. Arnold and Alex come and just, I always try to get them to spill the beans on stuff they're not supposed to spill the beans on. So it's like, so they'll come in and just kind of talk about what things they got coming, because he's always working on it. He's like the mad scientist of clay, or I always like to think of him as like Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka of clay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think you should put golden tickets in like this cost clay boxes, and when
Get like a tour.
that 5 people, get to go to the factory.
They prepared a lovely video showing how the factory look like for tomorrow. But yeah, the experience in person to be there must be amazing.
Well, you were talking, we had that meeting before, and you planted the seed of me going there and doing like a live tutoring or something like that. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's closer. It's like we said, like it's not that much for
I know.
from Germany to here.
Yeah, but okay, Europe has better train systems. I will say that. So.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you work with the one color clay, right?
I work with the gray, so the sculpt line, and usually the medium firm. So there's soft, medium firm, and extra firm.
And then you paint.
And then I paint it. Yep.
Yeah. The experience with paints is going well? Like you never had an issue when painting and covering a surface of the clay?
So there's one type of paint that has an issue with, but it's all polymer clay. Mm-hmm. It's enamel paints. It's the same stuff nail polish is made out of. Mm-hmm. It has a reaction where it stays sticky forever. Yeah. But I have learned ways to like remedy that. Yeah. One of them is you actually bake the piece with the paint on it. Mm-hmm. And that causes a reaction to stop and finalize, But yeah, other than that, I use like model paints. So Reaper Miniatures is like there's a lot of awesome paints because of the miniature community, and it just so happens to be perfect for painting sculptures too. So, and it works well with the clay. So most polymer clay just accepts acrylic paint really well. So
yeah. Well, when it comes to color, is there a certain palette that you tend to work with way more than with ours?
No, I wouldn't say so. But this is good to say though. So one thing my wife discovered when she, moved and started working with me in-house is she discovers she actually has a hidden talent in painting. So she's ultimately kind of taken over the painting side. Yeah.
And you don't miss that?
I still do it, like here and there, because I want to show that process on stream and stuff. But
is she getting better now?
Oh yeah, she's already like beyond me with a lot of things, So one thing I do a better job at is doing grimy, dirty, rusty looking things. Because you got to have like a confidence, and she's too timid, So, but she'll get it. She'll get the confidence to like, I'm just going to dump this brown, messy water on top of, so.
So when it comes to your studio, you show it on stream, and it's really like from some sort of historical movie, fairy tale. So is that real? Or is it like...
It's all real, yeah.
Yeah? So you work there on a daily basis, and it still looks like from a movie set.
Right. It's pretty much, it is like a movie set. Yeah. So the idea is to try to eliminate any like modern things, So slowly, there's still things there, but slowly I replace things with like stuff that, I want it to look like it comes out of a fantasy world, like a wizard workshop, so.
Do you use music when streaming a bit?
I do, yep.
And then it's historical music as well. So
right. So when it comes to content creation and using music and stuff like that, there's, a lot of people are worried about like copyright and DMCA is what they call it. But there's a kind of a loophole with streaming and using game soundtracks. So because companies like that people stream their games, so they actually allow people to use their game on live stream. Well, just the game in general, which has the music in it. So I just use the music in my live stream, and I use game music, which there's a lot of really great game soundtracks out there.
And that must go well with the audience and the whole community, right? Like they are the gamers, most of them.
Yeah, well, and it's just universal music because there's no vocals, so it's a lot of like instrumental, good background, calm music. So we try to play universal things that most people can like, so, because I could play things that, I know I like, but I know other people probably don't like, but we try to like, well, I mean, I don't know. I actually like that stuff. So I listen to that soundtrack more than anything else.
And I guess 7 hours a day as well. Do you listen to the music when sculpting, or is it added later on?
No, I'm listening to.
So you're listening
to the same thing, yeah. So
yeah, aren't you a little bit brainwashed, or is it still fine to listen to it?
Well, Ina, my wife, she puts together the playlist, so she's constantly having to add new music. So I'm like, I'm getting sick of this music. Let's get some more in there. So, but no, it's like the playlist we use now is like a week long or 2 weeks long. So it's plenty.
That's cool.
Plenty of music.
Some repetition.
Yeah.
No. The social media itself, how important your presence is there when you compare? You have the base and home at Stitch, but the rest of them, you said you stream to those and you build those communities on each of the platform. But is it needed, and is that the goal?
It's just like I said, imagine you're fishing, right? You could fish with a fishing pole with one hook on it, or you can cast a net instead, so it's just more of casting a net. So whether it works or not is more of like a long-term thing. The reality is it takes zero extra effort for me to stream on all of the platforms. So I might as well do it, whether it's working well or not, so.
When it comes to those reels and videos that you share then individually, that's extra process, right?
That is, yeah.
For your wife.
Right. Lots of work, yeah.
Yeah.
But that does well. So, I mean, we started doing reels, which is like the short videos, because Instagram first came out with reels. And of course, I was being stubborn. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do photos and do what I've been doing. That's what I want to do. And I started doing research into like, okay, how do we grow Instagram? And that was the first thing is you have to make reels. So then we started making them, and, put aside our stubbornness, started making them. And like a month or two after starting reels, we went from like 3,000 followers to like 106,000 in like no time at all. So
wow,
that's the whole, you got to work smarter, not harder thing, because I could have been stubborn and just kept doing what I was doing and probably still be like maybe 4,000 today, but it really blew up just by, figuring out everything's algorithm driven. So you have to find, okay, what does the algorithm like and what does it not like? And then you have to format your content to fit that parameter, whatever it is. So at that time it was make reels, don't make images. And it worked, paid off really good. So
is it helpful when setting collaborations with companies? Do they really focus on the numbers?
Yeah, well, I think that's the only reason we have companies reaching out to do work with me is because of that.
It's because of the Instagram?
Probably mostly Instagram. Yeah. Twitch too, it's like half, but it's because they get the whole package. They get Instagram reels, they get live streams, so they get a finished sculpture, so it's kind of what it is that I offer is it's a way to kind of advertise whatever it is you want to advertise, but make it not so in your face because I'm just sculpting something. It just happens to be the thing that's advertising naturally, whatever it is. So
it's a pretty smart machine, right?
Yeah.
Like how you put it all together that it works perfectly.
Yeah. So it's just, and that's kind of been a recipe to my success is always trying to figure out ways to take the work I'm already doing and just cut it up differently. And so I'm not having to do more work, just kind of making it look like it's all this selection, but really it's the same amount of work. Yeah. So that's what influenced the idea of streaming while sculpting anyways, so.
Do you sell the sculptures then?
Yeah, so most of my work is commissioned. So I'd say like 98% of the work is commissioned work. So
what about the pricing? Like how expensive it is now to get a sculpture from you?
Well, it depends. Okay, so I'm not sure. I want to get into that. Okay, so
it's awesome if it's expensive.
Let me explain. It's a slippery slope topic, and I avoid it with like individuals is fine, but like on an open platform, it can create false expectations or realities. So that's why it's too much of a widespread thing to like put like numbers on it, because people get that it just like sticks in their head, and then they're like, oh man, like they get these wrong ideas, which might lead to them like maybe not wanting to even reach out to get work done or something, so I've learned over the years it's best to not get into the details when it comes to like money. But of course, if anyone wants to question that kind of stuff, you can just email me and I'll be more than happy to get you the numbers and all that stuff. So
who are the customers usually? Like collectors or even people who just really want your artwork to be?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's not a particular group. I know most of the people find me through the stream. So they come, they watch the stream, they see the work I'm putting into things and how it looks, and they probably watch a lot of the time, We have a lot of what we call working lurkers, which is people that work from home and they need something to listen to while they're working that's not too distracting but still fun to watch. And so we get a lot of those people. So we're definitely heading into a phase of my career where it's starting to become more commissions through companies and less individual work. So it's like the beginning of that shift where there's really a lot of stuff, a lot of companies coming forward. Like right now I'm in the middle of a project with Logitech, which is a big one. And also at the same time, Focus Entertainment, who makes a bunch of the like AAA title games. We're working with them. And then I might even be doing a sponsored work. Oh, I'm out here with Twitch. Nothing locked in yet. But yeah, so it's like everyone comes at the same time wanting work, and it's like she just gets busier and busier. So
then the collaboration is like that they do a social media collaboration with you, but they also get the final sculpture.
Right. So like the Logitech piece is to launch their new headset. They have a new set of headphones that are really nice, and it has a charging station with like a magnetic charging station. So they sent me 2 of them. And I'm sculpting around this charging station, so making it like a sculpture that sits on your desk that you could put your headphones on to charge. And it's in collaboration with Space Marine 2, which is a new game that came out. So that's the theme. And yeah, so the idea is they gave me free sets of headsets to give away and copies of the game, like 60 copies. We've just been giving away on the stream. And then they shout me out on their social media. And then I produce the sculpture, they get the sponsored streams and the Instagram drops. TikTok too. TikTok's not too bad either. We kind of do the same content on TikTok or Instagram. But, TikTok I think is around like 50,000, somewhere like that, which is still pretty good. So
it's such a nice example of a collaboration where you implement it perfectly into what you do rather than showing ads directly and being like, hey, I said buy that.
Right, yeah.
But you figure out the sauce around to make it really to feel authentic.
Because people don't like that. Nobody likes to be advertised to anymore, because it's just been done over and over again and like constantly beating us on the head with advertisements that we've all kind of become numb to them, that you just don't even see or hear it. Like, your mind just goes blank when you see an ad, and then you're like, and it turns back on once the ad's over. So I think companies are realizing this and looking for more clever ways to get around that, and at the same time also supporting. I'm nobody huge, I would still consider myself a small artist, so that's good. That's just bringing more of the cash flow down to the little people instead of the big TV networks and stuff,
Next to those collaborations, what is there for you? What are the plans? Do you have even like...
For next year?
You have a huge schedule, right?
Well, okay. So company collaborations, you usually don't know about them like a year in advance. You know about them like the month before. They're like, we need this next month.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I guess I feel that. Yeah.
Jeez. Really? How long have you know do you need this? But no, it's fine. It's just the nature of the way that they do. It's just like same with Hollywood. They call you the day before and they want it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but individual people, I have a pretty long like list of people, but they get on a list, and then once the space opens up, then I start talking with them more about their project, and
And what are you looking the most forward to? What is your, something you are really excited about?
Let's see. I don't know if I could say anything really in particular. So
Yeah, or
I'm kind of a person. I really don't think like I keep my mind as grounded in the moment as much as possible.
Actually,
and I don't let my mind drift too much in the future or the past. Just kind of stay in the present.
But now, when being away from your home and studio, are you gonna have a break from streaming or not?
No.
So you are here for 2 days. That's your break.
Yeah, exactly. So right now, the missus is working on the stream setup in Germany because it just so happens her little village of 400 people has fiber internet somehow. So we're taking advantage of that. So last time I was out here for 3 weeks and I streamed.
Daily?
Yep.
Wow.
It's just so I usually do 2 streams a day, but when I'm out here, I'll only do 1. I'll do my normal morning hours, which is 7 a.m. American time to like noon or 11. So I'm going to be doing 1 o'clock to 5 or 4 is the time out here. So
do you still enjoy it, even it's daily, 2 times a day?
No, I do. Yeah. So I have a lot of like working habits that keep things fresh and new, and one of them is to every day I have a different project assigned to that day. So I'm not looking at the same thing, every day, and neither is the audience, So if you tune in on Monday, it's going to be that project. Tuesday is a different one, so on and so forth. So that also gives me a week to like marinate over something until I get to the next week and I can work on it again. So yeah, so
that's a crazy schedule, actually.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's you handle it so beautifully. Like it feels very natural.
Yeah.
For you.
Well, and I could pick up where I left off a week ago, and it's like no time had passed at all. And honestly, we all have felt this feeling of excitement at the beginning of a project, which makes you want to like binge the project and like work on it all the time. And then what ends up happening is you get to like the middle where you run out of that energy, and then you're like, I hate this. I don't want to work on it. Let's start something new. It's like, so when you only allow yourself to work on something 1 day a week, that excitement stays more consistently to the project. Yeah. So
is it like 7 projects that you continue on working on? Yeah,
it's like, so we'll just do the 5 Monday through Friday pieces. And then Sunday I have free classes on my channel. So I have the class project on Sunday. And then Saturday is a day off. So I always take Saturday off. So.
Well, I'm the most grateful that you make 2 days off for the Polymer Week here. Thank you so much.
It's a special occasion because I'm out of town anyway, so it worked out really good. So
thank you so much for being honest about everything. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you for being on the Polymer Week podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you.